We're back.
We're back. Not a long break between these two. Same session, so nothing to really add now. Let's just tap into it.
Yeah, how are you enjoying the Watanagashi festivities?
Honestly, this is great. I can't wait to the part where we start littering.
I see.
That part sounds really fun and interesting, if I'm honest. From the altar set up in front of the shrine, the drums sounded with a booming echo. It was the finale of the festival.
I'll be going off ahead then.
Also, since she lives at the... I put this together during the break. Because she lives at the Furude Shrine, her name is Rika Furude.
Yeah?
Furude Rika.
Yeah?
Okay. Just... No reason. I wouldn't... no reason.
Yeah, what reason could you mean?
No reason that came to mind.
Uh-oh, I need to go and get myself a good spot, too. Well then, everyone, see you in a bit.
Both Rika-chan and Tomatake-san gave their farewells and disappeared into the crowd.
I wish both of you the best in your endeavors. Now, shall we be off?
Yeah, might as well go see Rika-chan's charming figure. Let's go.
Yeah. Huh? Wait, where's Rena? What are you doing?
Keiichi-kun, Mi-chan, save me.
Since she was carrying such a ridiculously large stuffed animal, she was being carried by the flow of people. Oh, it was meant to be like one of those cartoonishly large.
Yeah.
They didn't say it was a large one, so this whole time I'm like, that's one hardy teddy bear. What is she doing? She must have her hands full taking care of that bear.
So I'll leave Rena in your care, Kei-chan. I have my hands full taking care of Sadako.
Who would want to be looked after by you, Mion-san? Ow! Please don't pull on my arm.
Before losing sight of Mion, I grabbed the back of Rena's collar.
Keiichi-kun, not there. Don't grab me there.
Always so buzzy. Where can I grab then?
I
didn't feel ashamed at all. Rena was ashamed enough for the both of us. I grabbed onto Rena's hand and dashed after Mion and the others. We're gonna be late. Let's hurry up.
Yeah.
I hadn't realized Rena's hand was so delicate. Maybe she needed a bit more exercise and nutrition. That wasn't what I meant. Not at all. My ears burned. I tried to keep calm. I repeated the phrase, "Keep it together, Keiichi Maebara," in my mind, but it didn't look like I would be able to anytime soon. I really didn't want Rena to see my face right then, so I pushed onwards, dragging her along without looking back even once. There was already a huge group of people gathered together in front of the altar at the shrine. The fire at the altar made it as bright as midday and just as hot. There were a pile of futons and warded with sanctified rope in front of the altar. Okay. I don't think of it. They did say it was a festival where they did something with the cotton and futons. Finally, the bodies we stashed in the futons. Finally, we could just get rid of them without having to worry about shit.
Just float them on down the river.
Yeah.
Just wrap them in the futons and
Is the point that we
whoosh.
get so caught up in all of like the slasher paranoia that we forget that these are people who would be displaced without a second thought given to their homes?
Yeah.
This is all about dams.
Yep.
This is all about dam infrastructure.
It is.
Keiichi-san, Rena-san, we're over here.
Sadako waved her hand from the front row. Oh, sorry. Making our way through the mass of people, we reached the spot they saved.
How was it? Were you able to have a little bit of excitement with Rena?
Oh, you punk! So that's what your plan was! Instead of replying, Mion gave us a perverse grin.
How was it, Rena? Was Kei-chan's hand bigger than you thought it would be?
Rena turned a bright red, puffs of steam shooting out of her. I heard something slice through the air and turned around to see Mion on the ground with a welt on her face. Mion, when were you hit?
Between the ha and of her I think.
Rena, it's not good to punch your friends to hide your embarrassment.
I didn't hit her. Whatever.
Is there a Higurashi fighting game?
Absolutely. There absolutely is.
Oh, that's delightful.
I bet it's spoilerlicious, though, so you probably shouldn't look it up yet.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't. But, thump! The thunderous beat of the drum echoed, silencing the crowd.
You must all be quiet. It is beginning.
It was a solemn ritual. Rika-chan entered dressed as a shrine maiden, followed by members of the municipal committee. The elders all looked at Rika-chan and clasped their hands in praise. The only thing allowed to disturb the profound silence was the flash from Tomitake-san's camera. What's the big thing that Rika-chan is holding?
A hoe that's used for this festival.
That's rude.
It's a sacred farming tool that only the Shrine Maiden may touch.
Okay, so a hoe that is sacred? Really? Why is it sacred? Okay.
I mean, it's a rural village. They got their shrine. You'd want to bless the farming implements and stuff.
Sure. Okay.
And do farming rituals.
It was an awkward shape for a piece of farm equipment, not uncommon for something used in rituals. After reciting a Shinto prayer, Rika-chan approached the pile of futons gathered at the altar. She swung the hoe skillfully, plowing it into the futons. Each and every little movement of this performance probably had to be done in a certain way. Without a doubt, this was a ritual. What's next, airing out the futons?
She's purifying futons that absorbed illnesses from people over the winter. So when Kei-chan said airing out futons, he wasn't completely wrong.
Help me imagine the shape of this hoe a little bit better. Because when I imagine a hoe, imagine like a long wooden pole with like a flat thing with a couple of prongs on the end of it,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely.
And
just
she's
one
just
of those,
whacking?
but like a fancy one with like some Shinto ribbons and stuff on it. And she's doing a little Shrine Maiden dance and whacking it against the futons and hoeing them and so forth.
Okay, sure.
Gotta purify them.
Gotta purify them. Does she use that in the fighting game?
I hope so.
Rika-chan's face was already dripping with sweat. That hoe was probably really heavy. She staggered side to side with the momentum of each swing. Sadako looked on, silently lending her support. Are you worried for her?
Rika practiced every single day with a mochi hammer. She will certainly prevail.
Sadako's hands were sweaty, and whenever Rika-chan started to sway a little, she held her breath. Why wasn't Mion a candidate to be the Shrine Maiden? Feels wrong having Rika-chan swing around something so heavy.
I'd do it if they asked me, you know. And, well, it's not something just anyone could do.
That's true. Shrine Maidens need to be pure, after all. Ow. Mion drove her elbow into my side. With the thud of the big drum, Rika-chan gave a solemn bow and descended from the altar. That triggered a round of generous applause. After the Shinto priests had raised up the cleansed futons like a portable altar, all the spectators stood up. Following after the priests, we all marched out at a moderate pace. They descended the shrine's giant stairs in a line. What's happening now? Washing the futons in the river?
Watanagashi means setting cotton adrift, you know.
The procession continued right up to the bank of the stream. A fire was stoked high, and it was bright as day here, too. People started crowding around it and clamoring.
All right, get in line. Line up, Keiichi-kun.
I wonder what was up. Maybe we'd get some holy wine? Red and white bean buns?
It's not food. I said it was cotton.
But of course, they didn't call it the Watanagashi for nothing. I finally understood. The municipal committee members pulled out the cotton from inside the futons and balled it up like mochi, handing it out to people. Rena dove into the line and brought out some for me as well. We then proceeded to the bank of the stream.
Since it's your first time, Keiichi-kun, just copy what I do.
She held the cotton in her right hand and, waving her hand as if to purify it, touched it to her forehead, chest, navel, and both thighs.
You do this 3 times and silently give thanks to Oyashiro-sama. And then you need to make sure to wash out your belly button as well.
I don't think that's what that's for. I'm pretty sure. Oyashiro-sama? What's that, the name of the shrine's god?
Yes, it's the guardian deity of Hinamizawa.
Oyashiro. Okay, I don't think... We haven't heard that name yet, have we?
We haven't.
Okay.
It brings about both miracles and curses. So you must be sure to show respect.
That sounded like a pretty frightening god. But, well, when in Rome. I was officially a resident of Hinamizawa now, after all. Doing as Rena showed me, I touched the cotton over myself 3 times. Thank you, Oyashiro-sama. Thank you, Oyashiro-sama. Oyashiro-sama.
This way, all the evil that possesses you is sucked out by the cotton. Then you let it gently drift away on the stream, and you're done.
Together, Rena and I set out our pieces of cotton afloat on the surface of the water. The flowers of cotton blooming in the water had sucked out all the evil festering in Hinamizawa and drifted off, disappearing into the distance. It was wonderful, like those floating lantern festivals I'd seen on TV. The best part, though, was feeling like this rite of passage had made me a true resident of Hinamizawa. Huh. Okay. A little strange, but...
Nice little ritual, though.
Yeah, I mean,
People get sick, you bring the futons up, have the Shrine Maiden do a little purification dance, and then you float the cotton on down the river and everything's all better.
is it? You have to restuff the futon now.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we're missing a step there, but
But I mean, I guess if you were laying sick in a futon all year, then getting it stuffed with some fresh cotton is probably a good idea anyway.
yeah, okay. I mean, like, again, it's like, it's fuel for paranoia, but it just seems, I don't know. I don't have any context for what is a normal and not normal festival, but whatever, seems benign. While staring off into the stream, I somehow got separated from Rena. It wasn't very lonely, though. I know this place now. This is where I live. My home. Probably better if I just stay here instead of wandering around aimlessly. Someone would surely find me while I was enjoying the evening breeze. I heard a familiar voice. It was Tomatake-san's. I headed towards it. Weird how we just kind of like zone out and wind up in different places frequently. Like, that keeps happening to us, right?
Maybe.
Is it just the narration, or
It's unclear.
how'd it go, Tomatake-san? Were you able to get some good shots?
Yeah, fortunately.
Tomatake-san was with a girl. Felt a little like I was intruding.
How was it, Keiichi-kun?
Oh no, hold on.
Yeah.
I still say that Tomatake-san losing his little dad fat is...
See,
He's not this ripped in the original sprites.
They should have made him ripped, but also have dad fat. Give him
Yeah.
dad strength.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what not enough anime-fied designs have. Dudes with dad strength.
Yeah, there we go. She's got a very fancy little ribbon, though.
Yeah.
Um,
That's her, right?
I
can
think
be her.
this is her. Do you
I can
want to be her?
Sure.
Or
I'll be her.
Okay.
How was it, Keiichi-kun? Did you enjoy the festival?
From the way she spoke, it seemed like she was a resident of Hinamizawa. I really should try harder to remember people's faces here. What's her name? Well, it was fun. My face must have given away how desperately I was trying to remember her name because she gave me a lighthearted chuckle.
It's probably because it hasn't been long since you moved here. It's pretty hard to believe seeing how friendly you've gotten with the other kids.
How come you can respond to my inner monologue too?
We all can.
If that's how it looked, it was probably all thanks to Rena and Mion.
Perhaps you feel more like a resident of Hinamizawa after taking part in the festival today.
I wonder about that.
No, that's not like you.
I tried to get used to Hinamizawa, but there were still plenty of things I didn't know. Faces of people I'd met, for example. Things that had happened in the past as well.
Oh, you're feeling left out because of something like that.
Not so much as feeling left out, it's just not sure how to say it. That incident at the goddamn construction site. The fighting over it and the other conflicts. That terrible incident they pretended they didn't even know about whenever I brought it up. Even though it was in the past, as someone living in Hinamizawa, it wasn't wrong to want to know about both the good and the bad that happened here.
If it'll put you at ease, then I'll tell you everything I know.
Tomatake-san's smile made me more relieved than I'd ever been. It was hard to think of what to ask when someone said, "Ask me anything," though. Even when there was so much I wanted to ask. Then, could you tell me about what happened when the goddamn was being constructed? There was a big incident where Hinamizawa was going to be submerged, right?
I think the locals would be more knowledgeable about the dam than I am. Well, if you don't mind, I'll tell you what I know. It's only what I read in the newspaper, though.
Tomatake-san's eyes entered an unfocused gaze as he searched through his memory. Then he spoke. Who the hell are you? You didn't introduce yourself!
The decision to start the dam project was finalized 7 or 8 years ago. I heard it was the next major project after Kurobe.
Kurobe. Should I know that?
I don't know what that is.
All right.
There were 3 major issues in Japan at that time: improving inter-island transportation infrastructure, meeting the higher demand for electricity, and flood control. There was a boom of dam building due to the massive economic stimulus they provided on top of generating electricity and flood control. Hinamizawa had the right conditions to support dam construction, so it was singled out. The dam reservoir would have covered quite a lot of ground when it was completed. The entire area, right up to Yagoichi, way upstream, would be underwater.
But why'd they have to pick a populated area like Hinamizawa? Couldn't they have instead picked a place where nobody lived?
I'm not really sure why, but I heard that it was just the right terrain for building a dam.
Right. I don't think there's anything nefarious about picking Hinamizawa because in itself, because there are not a lot of places that are naturally susceptible to having a dam built there.
It's just a damn good spot.
It's just because you want the terrain to have like you want the floodplain that you're gonna dam up to be like contained in like a lake and stuff like that. You want it to be surrounded by higher ground, so it's not just gonna flood out everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, it's not immediately a point of suspicion to be like, oh, they picked Hinamizawa. Ugh.
Of course, there were protests here in Hinamizawa.
Oh, Rika-chan had said there was a battle. From that choice of words, I had to guess things turned violent.
There was a trial, and it was even brought up before the National Diet. It was covered in the Tokyo newspapers, too.
Mion had told me all about that as well. I'm sure every resident of Hinamizawa had united to fight together. The feeling of solidarity found here, which could not be expressed properly with mere words, was likely brought about by that battle.
As a result, bribery and scandals were brought to light. As things got more and more complicated, they eventually halted construction.
I wanted to know, now was my only chance to ask. Certainly a bizarre incident that boys my age would be curious about. Felt a little shame for the fact I was petty enough to have my curiosity piqued by Rena and Mion's refusal to talk about the event. But I figured I might as well ask since I had the chance, just so I would stop thinking about it so much. So there was a dismemberment, right?
There was. I happened to be here in Hinamizawa at that time, so I remember it well.
Okay, so okay.
That's interesting. He heard about all the other shit with the dam and so on from the newspapers.
But he was
here at the time the dismemberment happened. So he didn't come here after the fact. He was already here.
Right. So I guess the innocent explanation is he heard about that story and came here to cover it. But we do know according to him, he comes in a few times a year, right? Yep. It's not without reason that
I come here to take photos of birds, like the greater sage grouse and the roseate spoonbill.
Roseate spoonbill. Birds. Tomatake-san's answer was nonchalant in contrast to my hesitantly forced out question.
It was about this time, 4 years ago. It was the day of the Watanagashi, if I recall correctly.
Okay. Here we go. Now we're getting a timeline.
So that puts it in 79.
Because this is 83.
Yep.
So that would have been 79, the day of the Watanagashi. So Rena hadn't even moved here yet.
Yeah.
So why is she so... Okay. Debate on whether to continue the construction on the dam was in disarray. Scandal after scandal rocked the project near the end. The incident that was the final nail in the coffin for the dam project. A fight at the damned construction site ended in the victim being murdered. Fearing prosecution, the 6 assailants divided the remains into 6 pieces and hid each one. 5 of the 6 criminals turned themselves in out of guilt, but one was still on the run. The right arm he'd hidden had yet to be found. Major details lined up with what was in the tabloid I'd read earlier. Certainly was a tragic incident, but wasn't so terrible that Renan and Mio needed to hide it from me. I guess they didn't want someone who just moved here to have a negative impression of Hinamizawa. Felt grateful for having friends who were so worried about me, as well as shame for still being so interested in it.
It was near the end of all the trouble with the dam, you see, so everyone was saying that it was Oyashiro-sama's curse.
Oyashiro-sama's curse, huh? Oyashiro-sama was the name of the god at the shrine that held the festival today, if I recalled correctly. Alright, I see. Their guardian deity rained divine punishment down on the evil dam construction for trying to flood Hinamizawa.
Apparently, the younger ones didn't think so, but it seems the elderly in the village never doubted that it was Oyashiro-sama's curse.
The woman with Tomatake-san said with a mischievous chuckle. What is your name? Tomatake-san began laughing with her. It was so infectious I ended up laughing as well.
So, I think, and comment section correct me if I'm wrong on this, I think that she didn't end up getting a name and sprite and stuff until the second game or something like that. So we might end up getting confused by the fact that she's here and clearly important and has a sprite, but doesn't have the name said yet.
Got it.
It might come up shortly, but there's a chance that it won't.
Okay, okay. So this is part of the I guess not remastering, but this is clearly like a later compiled version of the game.
I feel
They
like
probably back added her
I feel
sprites.
like I read something about that like.
Okay. I won't worry about it for now.
And correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But in the meanwhile,
We won't hear you for several weeks
Yeah.
after the fact, but we'll appreciate it.
But in the meanwhile, if you don't hear her name for a long time, despite the fact that she is clearly here and a character important enough to have a sprite,
Yeah, that's why.
That might be why.
Okay.
But I wonder about now. There are quite a few, I think, amongst the youth, too.
A few what?
People who believe in Oyashiro-sama's curse.
The woman's lips were still curled into a smile, but her expression turned stern.
Then after that, it continued every year, always around this time.
Continued? What continued? Tomatake-san paused for a second as if to build up some suspense.
I've had the voices swapped.
You did. Then he whispered to me as if someone might have been listening.
Every year, on the day of the Watanagashi, somebody dies. In the year following the dismemberment, on the day of the Watanagashi, a man from Hinamizawa who had supported the dam fell off a cliff overlooking some rapids and died while he was on vacation. Unfortunately for his wife, the body was never recovered.
On the day of the Watanagashi. Okay, so a man from Hinamizawa who had supported dam construction. Okay. So he was a townie, but he supported it probably because they were going to buy him out and let him move or somewhere.
Yep.
Or something. Right, okay. Overlooking, but he wasn't in Hinamizawa when he died. He was on vacation.
Yep.
So even though he wasn't here on the Watanagashi, he still died on that day. Okay. And he was pro-dam.
And the body wasn't found.
And the body was never oh, well, that's convenient. He lived in the I guess this is either one of these two.
I'm just going to assume that it's still Tomitake.
Sure.
He supported the dam construction even though he lived in Hinamizawa. At the time, there were whispers amongst the elderly saying it was Oyashiro-sama's curse.
The body was never recovered. Never trust that. The woman chuckled mischievously again.
I always guess wrong.
Then the next year, the night of the Watanagashi, the shrine's Shinto priest died suddenly from an unknown illness. His wife drowned herself in the bog that night.
Oh no, that's Rika's parents. That's Rika's parents, isn't it?
Could be.
That because she feels like she has to do. No, don't fuck with me. That's Rika's parents. Am I wrong? No.
We'll find out.
That's absolutely her Oh no! The shrine's Shinto priest died suddenly from an unknown illness. His wife drowned herself in the bog that night. Okay, so he died from an unknown illness. Wife drowned herself in the bog that night. Okay. The shrine's Shinto priest. You mean he was from the shrine here? The woman nodded.
There was a rumor amongst the villagers that they weren't able to quell Oyashiro-sama's anger.
We don't know if they had been pro or anti-dam, right?
We don't.
Presumably anti if they're running the shrine that would be flooded, but...
Yeah.
Then the year after that, again on the night of the Watanagashi, they discovered the battered body of a local housewife.
Okay. On the night of the Watanagashi... They discovered the body that night. Okay.
So that's as recently as last year by now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's last year. Just counting up. And they discovered it on that day, so it doesn't necessarily mean it happened on that day.
Yep.
It's a lot. It does feel like it could be a little bit of pareidolia. Pareidolia? Pareidolia?
I think it's the latter. The last one.
Pareidolia?
Yeah.
But, housewife. So now all these mysterious deaths were people involved with the dam who had connections with Oyashiro-sama. Mysterious housewife. This is also why it's really important that we don't really have a lot of information about their home lives.
Yep.
Because now, like, I guess, well, we can say it wasn't Rena's mom. But we don't know anything about Sadako's family situation or Mion's.
Yeah.
So it could, I mean, if there's a reason that Sadako was living with Rika, that might be it.
Could be.
Could be. I don't know, not enough to know for this one yet. That in mind, of course, the housewife would have been involved in some way. Oh. Yeah, with that in mind, could the housewife have been involved in some way, too?
Exactly.
the woman stated slyly. Now it was more menacingly.
One of the victim's relatives, you see, was connected to the younger brother of the dam's supporter who fell to his death 2 years before.
Okay, that's a little... all right, a little bit of a reach. I see how they're making the connections, but I'm not convinced, because that's only, just, again, stepping back from the fact that people have died, right, which is obviously a tragedy. They're making connections like, oh, they are all related to Oyashiro-sama, or people who supported the dam. This one was a dam supporter. This one was related to someone who was a younger brother of someone who supported the dam. And the other two were just the priest and his wife, who presumably would have been anti-dam.
Yep.
One of them died of sickness, one of them drowned herself. One, they only found the body on that day, and one went missing on that day, and they never found the body. That's not a... I guess the best thing would be is like, oh, people relate... Like, there's still a weird pattern of people related to Hinamizawa having tragedies happen to them on this day. But, like, that's still obviously there, but... I don't know, anything more than that, it feels like you're just kind of reaching.
I don't know.
It's not enough data points.
If you're Oyashiro-sama, you can't exactly go stab someone. You're a village deity. You've got to arrange mysterious circumstances for people to die, otherwise natural deaths, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I buy it.
It's magic.
Why was Oyashiro? If it were, oh, we're doing this, are we? Are we doing? You really want to pull that up? You're really gonna make me do this. You know that shit ain't gonna work here. Get out of here with that nonsense. Unless it really is magic.
We'll see.
I hope we understand that there's a difference between magic and magic.
Indeed.
Right? Okay. One of the victim's relatives is connected to the younger brother of the dam supporter who... Oh, of the same dam supporter.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. I didn't make that connection.
The younger brother is still alive, it seems, but it did bother him quite a bit. So he moved to the neighboring town.
Interesting. For a while, I stood there with my mouth agape, the battle over the dam construction with Hinamizawa's future at stake, and the murder at the center of it all. It was all I knew, and it was all I wanted to ask about. But that wasn't all there was to the story. Homicide, body disposal, accidental deaths, terminal illness, suicide, fatal beatings. I'm a pretty level-headed person. I don't really want to believe in curses, but the freakish deaths happened every year on the day of the Watanagashi, and all of them were related to the dam construction. It was easy to dismiss each of them as coincidences by themselves, but when you put them all together, dismissing all of them as coincidence would defy logic. Would it? I don't believe in curses, but every single year on the day of the Watanagashi, somebody or something makes it happen without fail. See, that's the way you look at it, is that if it's happening, like, on that day every part of the year, then, like, someone's clearly arranging it to be that way. Yeah, you got this, Keiichi. You don't need me. You're good. The woman chuckled again as if she picked up on what I was thinking. Felt like she was saying,
Maybe there was. Maybe we frightened him.
stuff like that. I felt embarrassed at being read so easily. I pressed Tomitake-san to continue, a bit of impatience and an irritation in my tone. Then, so someone died the next year, right? Who's at that time? Have you not been keeping track, buddy?
I wonder. Who do you think, Keiichi-kun?
The hell? The way he said it didn't agree with me. The sarcastic tone ticked me off. Don't avoid the question. I'm serious here.
Hey, calm down. Oh, hey, calm down, Keiichi-kun.
I realized when she tried to calm me down that I had been panicking.
We aren't trying to avoid the question, Keiichi-kun. It's just when you say the next year, that's today.
When she hesitated to say it, Tomitake-san finished for her. I broke into a cold sweat. I really didn't like the direction this was headed.
Nobody wants to speak of it, but they all think it's going to happen again tonight.
The festival was so cheerful, though.
Well, the victim last year, the housewife, she was a non-believer. Turns out she didn't even attend the Watanagashi festival. There was a rumor going around that if you didn't participate in the festival, you would incur Oyashiro-sama's wrath. Didn't you hear anything about this, Keiichi-kun?
No! I never even heard a whisper of that rumor. The reason when everyone's at the festival was they were afraid of the curse?
I figured that must have been the reason. There were a lot more people at the Watanagashi than usual.
I guess everyone was just afraid after all. But Yashiro-sama's curse. Couldn't utter a single word. In this modern age, where we've made progress in all scientific fields, shedding light on the unknown and misunderstood, where black and white television has been eradicated and we've sent men to the moon, even with all of our accomplishments, this can exist in modern society. Tons of invitations were sent out to neighboring towns, youth groups to help pad the numbers. But after that string of events, few decided to join. The municipal committee members were complaining about how hard it was to gather participants.
Also, the
Oh, wait, this is them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, the police are treating each case as isolated. They don't believe they're connected. They're trying to keep it quiet, so it's all plainclothes officers.
It finally began to dawn on me why Rena and Mion were so reluctant to talk. If nothing happened during this Watanagashi, everything would have been over with, and I'd be none the wiser. If nothing happened, all would be well. In that case, it would all end up being just crazy talk. I should have just pretended like I knew nothing from the beginning. Then they wouldn't have had to act like nothing happened. And then we all could have gotten back to life as usual.
Maybe it was just too much for him after all.
The woman ran her fingers through her hair as she sighed.
I assume
Oh, this is Keiichi defending himself now.
Yeah.
Sorry, it took me a while for me to figure out the referent of him.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. Not at all. I tried to act strong, but that just served to emphasize how much the information had unsettled me. For seeing how I looked, Tomitake-san appeared to regret saying anything. Letting out a sigh, he spoke, forcing an awkward, upbeat demeanor.
Keiichi-kun, surely you don't believe in such things as curses.
Well, no.
If the causes of all the crimes were unknown, with the perpetrators and their methods all mysteries, then I would think it's the work of a curse. But that's not how things are in reality. The police are investigating the evidence and suspects to uncover the truth.
Hearing him say police made me feel a lot better. Whatever floats your boat, buddy. The perfect day for repelling the word. It's perfect for repelling the word curse.
The first one, the dismemberment, for example. I told you, didn't I? All but one of the perpetrators were arrested. It's only a matter of time for the last one.
Hey, Tomitake-san?
Yeah?
Where were you on the night of the dismemberment?
No comment.
Okay. All right. What about the lady beside you there?
No comment.
Okay. The motive turned out to have been an argument they had while intoxicated. That's no curse. Oh. That's still him.
The motive turned out to have been an argument they had while intoxicated. That's no curse. Don't you agree?
That was true. If it didn't happen on the day of the Watanagashi, then I wouldn't have thought it was related to the curse at all.
The accidental death of the man who supported the dam is the same. He was in a position that made others hate him. The police made a point of investigating from that angle. They concluded it was an accident, not foul play.
But they both happened on the day of the festival, right?
Just think about it, Keiichi-kun. Do you think people with a lot of enemies here in Hinamizawa could participate easily in a local festival? It would be especially hard for them to be around during the Watanagashi, so they probably left Hinamizawa intentionally around this time of year to travel, don't you think?
Wasn't a very clear explanation, but I sort of understood what he was getting at. So I pressed on earnestly, asking more questions so that I could convince myself. And then Tomitake-san, what about the priest who died after that? The one with the unknown illness. That also happened on the day of the festival.
It's even easier to explain what happened to the Shinto priest. The Watanagashi is a really big event that happens once a year. It was probably from all the built-up stress, or it may have been because of a pre-existing condition.
But it was an unknown illness, right? It's hard to believe something with an unknown cause could exist with all of our advances in medicine.
It's just an exaggeration. Rumors making rumors. Anyone would get worked up over having incidents happen 2 years in a row. The sudden death is quite unnatural, though. And of course, the police ordered an autopsy because of the strange way he died. But there wasn't enough for them to open a full investigation, you know? Turns out it was just a sudden death due to illness.
The priest's wife committed suicide, correct? What about that?
I believe I already explained that. Everyone was shaken up by the incidents happening for a third year. Those who were of strong faith were quick to believe it was the work of the curse. Of course, that included the priest's wife. Apparently they found a suicide note that said something like, My death will quell Oyashiro-sama's anger.
And as we all know, suicide notes are absolutely unshakable proof.
Yeah, you can always trust the info in them to be accurate and written by the person it pertains to be from.
Exactly. Well, then what about the next incident with the housewife? Happened on the day of the Watanagashi, too.
The perpetrator has already been caught and the case has been closed. Turns out it was just some nut job trying to continue the legacy of the Hinamizawa curse.
Then, what about the incident next year? Oh yeah, this year is the next year. Tomatake-san gave a hearty laugh.
Nothing will happen, not this year. There was never a curse to begin with. It's just that a group of people believed it was the explanation for a string of coincidences.
My eternal computer finally got itself back on track. I felt a bit embarrassed by how childish I had become after losing control and panicking.
I can see very clearly now that Keiichi-kun really does love Hinamizawa, even if Oyashiro-sama's curse actually did exist. Keiichi-kun couldn't bring himself to believe that such a thing existed.
I felt very relieved. I should probably just forget everything I heard tonight. I'll greet Rena and Mion tomorrow with the same smile as always. I'd probably also like tonight to end without incident so they can continue on tomorrow without having worried me. Perhaps seeing my change in attitude, the woman who had been listening in stretched as she got up the rock she was sitting on.
Well then, I should be getting back. Goodness, I think I may have gone on a bit too long.
There were so few people compared to the crowd from before. I could only make out a few groups of families enjoying the cool evening air. I looked at my watch. It seemed like we talked for the better part of an hour.
Didn't you come along with your friends, Keiichi-kun? Not gonna look for them?
Oh yeah, they'd all be looking for me.
You're quite the scoundrel, making the girls look for you. See you, Keiichi-kun. Have a nice night. You too, Jiro-san. I'll see you a bit later.
Oh, so his given name is Jiro?
Yep, Tomitake Jiro.
Tomatake Jiro. That's confusing because the game's localization is using English name ordering. So in the game it would be Jiro Tomatake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So-
wait.
Yeah, in the English ordered localization.
Yeah, because sorry. My brain, like, just with no other context, I'll default to like the regular Japanese order, Tomatake Jiro. But this game has been consistent about using English name ordering.
Yeah.
So I've been like, so I've been thinking, I like, and it's weird because like it files in my head differently, depending on how I hear it first.
Yep.
So that's why I have like Rika Furude stuck in my head instead of Furude Rika.
Mm-hmm.
But Tomatake-san seems to be quite the scoundrel himself. So his name is Jiro, huh? After dusting off her backside, she disappeared into the crowd of people, still busy cleaning up the shrine grounds. We never did get her name, though.
Keiichi-kun.
Hey, Rena. How are you doing?
So sorry.
In her place, Rena came running over. Could see all the others behind her. Peak of the devil.
My bad, Kei-chan. We got so caught up in our discussion.
What discussion? I completely forgotten about them while caught up in my own conversation, so we were even.
My, so Tomatake-san was with you. This works out perfectly.
What?
We still need to settle the shooting gallery competition. That's right. So I guess I'm gonna end up dead last.
In the end, after my dramatic victory, Rika-chan was the last challenger, but there weren't many targets left. The ones remaining were all tiny and difficult to hit. She did take her time and aim, but all 3 shots completely missed. She was going to end up sharing the loser's crown with Tomatake-san. However, she did her little mewing cry in front of the owner, and he turned to mush instantly. She was given a pack of gum as a consolation prize.
Meow.
Her methods were a bit audacious, but she did avoid being the loser rather magnificently.
At all costs.
Oh, come to think of it, Rika-chan is quite the trickster, huh?
I have no idea what Keiichi is talking about.
I like Rika so much. Oh, she's delightful. She's great.
Now then, it is decided that Tomatake-san is dead last.
Everyone cheered and applauded. Tomatake-san smiled wryly, slightly bewildered.
So, Tomitake-san, are you ready? Penalty time! Huh? No, I completely forgot about that.
You're too naive, Tomatake-san. This is why our club can never lose. Mion pulled a felt tip marker from a pocket. Oh, it's that. Show him some mercy, Mio, and at least use a washable marker. A permanent one is too harsh.
Haha, it just has to be permanent. It comes off when you do the laundry anyway.
Whoa, what is this? Please take it easy on me.
Alvis pinned his arms behind his back, and Mion approached him with the marker in one hand.
And squip, squip, squip.
But she didn't write on Tomatake-san's face. She wrote on the shirt he was wearing. The black shirt? You'd better have your big break this year, Mion. Rena took up the marker next. Show me your photos.
Show me your photos next time, okay? Rena.
It was a little heartwarming, and I just had to laugh.
This is more like a farewell card than a penalty.
Oh, I know the stuff is the rest. I'll make sure this is a proper penalty.
Did last. Sadako.
Try harder next time, Rika. Here you go, Keiichi.
I couldn't decide what to write, but based on what kind of penalty this was probably going to be the most appropriate. Go back and play again. Keiichi. Tomatake-san was silent the entire time. First he was quite bewildered, but now he had a different look on his face.
So I have to wear this all the way back to Tokyo as part of the penalty.
Of course, you'd better wear it all the way home. You could wear it when you come back. It would be nice.
He appeared deeply moved. Embarrassment mixed with a wealth of other emotions made him turn bright red.
I'm glad I wore the cheap shirt today. Understood. I'll wear this the next time I come here. I promise.
Everyone cheered and applauded. It was the finest parting gift possible for a buddy heading out tonight. I saw the woman who was with Tomatake-san standing near the festival grounds. Seeing Tomatake-san noticed her too and knew it was time to leave.
Seems like your guest is waiting.
The music just cut out and Mion's looking all angry and pissed.
She's looking smug.
Oh yeah.
Isn't it about time?
Yeah, that's certainly how it seems.
Tomatake-san headed off toward her and seemed to apologize for making her wait. We all shouted stuff at Tomatake-san. Each time we did, he looked back and waved his hand. Eventually, he faded into the darkness of night, out of sight. Quite the casual farewell. Wasn't the first time any of us had seen someone off, after all. They'd done the same thing many times before.
He's gone. Well, it's about time we take off, too.
Rika-chan had to stay behind with the other committee members since they were having a meeting. Sadako was tagging along with her. I headed back home with the usual suspects. The walk back was quite lively, with talk of the day's war stories. Should have done this, should have done that kind of stuff. Rena and I parted ways with Mion, then it was just the two of us. And then we got to my house and I parted ways with Rena as well. Pretty late, are you all right by yourself?
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine. It's close. I'm going to run, too.
You run into some weirdo, just yell.
If someone does come, will you come and save me, maybe? Maybe?
I hear you.
Okay. I'll scream loud enough so you can hear me.
See, the paranoid in me is like, it's setting it up now for her to die.
Sure is.
Merrily spinning her arms around at high speed, Rena dashed off. She was fine. In that mode, not even an adult could stand against her. Her cheerful presence disappeared, and it finally became quiet again. The curse that not a single person even whispered about. The more I learned about it tonight, the more unsettling it became. It didn't show on any of their faces, but they were probably all quite concerned about it as well. But if nothing happens tonight, then it all just ends up being crazy talk. Nothing will happen. Nothing bad. Nothing at all.
What's wrong, Keiichi? Why are you standing in a place like that? Come inside, you'll catch a cold.
It was my mom. Oh, did you go, Mom? To the Watanagashi Festival?
In the end, your father didn't wake up, so I missed it. A little disappointing.
Mom stuck her tongue out with a bit of an embarrassed look on her face.
Bleh.
Rip Father Maebara.
So, who do you think's gonna die, if anyone? We've had a couple people get set up as potential.
With some death flags?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a couple of death... I think the most... Oh, new tips.
A lot of new
A lot of
tips.
them. I think the most blatant death flag we had set up was for Rena.
Yeah.
The subtle one, I think, for Mr. Maebara there
Mm-hmm.
is definitely in contention. I Depending on like how brutal they want to be, I could absolutely see Mion. Because Mion, I say brutal because it's like she had no setup, but also she just kind of left on her own. So the game didn't spend any time buttering you up with it.
True.
Could be Tomatake or his guest. I don't know. I don't think anyone's gonna die.
Yeah,
I
all be
really
fine.
don't.
There is no curse.
If I'm honest, I don't think anyone's gonna die because at this point I have no idea why it's happening.
Yep.
And without knowing why it's happening, I just don't think someone's gonna die at a random for no reason.
Let's view some tips.
Hojo couple's falling incident.
So that's the first. The second one. The first one we already know
The first
about.
one being
the dismemberment.
the labor dispute, which happened on Watanagashi?
Apparently.
Wow, okay.
So now we're 1980.
All right. I'm getting comfy. From the June 1980 edition. On the afternoon of Redacted at 2 p.m., office employee Redacted and his wife Redacted of Hinamizawa Village in Shishibone Prefecture disappeared after falling 27 meters from the observatory platform in Shirakawa Prefecture. They both disappeared. They didn't mention the wife.
I think it may have been worded in an unclear way. They said he fell off, the poor wife, the body was never discovered.
I see. Okay, so it was both of them then. Okay. Police and firefighters searched downstream and discovered the body of Redacted at around 7 p.m. that evening. His wife, Redacted, has yet to be... Okay, that's the opposite of how I thought this was. Okay.
Yeah, it was worded in an unclear way.
Okay, cool. I'm all set now.
So they found this Hojo guy.
Hojo, okay.
But they haven't found the wife, huh?
They haven't found the wife yet. I found her. I know where she is. I know exactly where she is. She's just hanging around.
Yeah?
Yeah, she's just hanging around with a weird ribbon on her chest.
Huh.
Yeah,
Could be.
That's my hard read on this.
All right.
The search has run into difficulties due to the effects of Typhoon 3 from the previous day. It appeared a railing at the observatory that the Redacteds leaned on had broken, causing him to... Why Redacteds? Isn't the Hojos?
It said so in the headline, yeah. It said Mr. and Mrs. Hojo.
Okay. The groundskeeping staff was questioned by the police in regards to facility deterioration and if park maintenance was performed properly. Okay, so they were in an observatory, railing gave way, and they fell.
Yep.
Okay. And they found the wife's body downstream, but they never... Or they found the
guy's
gentleman's body downstream, but never the wife. From the June 1981 edition. On the afternoon of Redacted around 10 p.m. in the Redacted district of Hinamizawa Village in Shishibone Prefecture, the Shinto priest of the Furude Shrine passed away after an existing condition he was recovering from suddenly worsened. That is a much different context than what we had, like mysterious illness. This says,
they sounded like they were playing it up a bit, huh?
Yeah, this says existing condition from which he was covering. Like, if there was an existing condition, then that's... what's... Okay.
Maybe Tomitake and Blondie just like telling ghost stories and scaring impressionable teenage boys.
Maybe. I didn't get the impression that Tomitake-san was one for talking up the truth, though. But then again, we still don't understand why he's here or what he's... Like,
yeah.
My assessment of the characters and their motivations is not yet complete, so... Parties close to the deceased said he was suffering from anxiety issues concerning the festival, which was to be held that day. That is the line we were fed. Also, after Redacted's death, his wife Redacted went missing, leaving behind a farewell note. Police and local youth association continued the search. However, given the presence of the farewell message and the fact the Onigafuchi marsh is said to be bottomless, they have run into difficulties. That also feels a little bit like not exactly as we heard it.
And another missing body, huh?
Another missing body is also... It wasn't reported in the newspaper. The housewife murder wasn't reported.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's just really... I like it. That was good. Radio log. Turn on the radio.
This is Okinomiya Station calling Unit 3. Unit 3, please respond.
This is Unit 3, loud and clear.
Backup is heading your way. Hold position until further instructions. Over.
Roger, Unit 3 acknowledged.
Requesting no headlights. Requesting radio silence.
Station doctors arrived. They want to carry it away. What's the order? Over.
Acknowledge. Leave it to the doctor.
Affirmative. Understood. Backups arrived. Shouldn't we let them take a photo first? I think the dick is done for.
The doctor, huh?
Interesting.
The doctor, huh?
What the fuck is going on here?
The doctor. Interesting. Okay. The doctor has arrived, and she's wearing a green ribbon. I've cracked the code.
Could be.
I don't know. I'm just taking pot shots at this point.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta take a swing.
It's big swings. That's what we're all about here, right? How are we doing? Oh, yeah, there's still a good bit more in this, so let's keep going.
Good morning. Nice job yesterday, Kei-chan.
You didn't do so badly yourself, Mion. Yesterday was fun.
Oh, that's right. Keiichi-kun, thank you very much for Mr. Bear.
I'm glad you like it. Don't use it as a pincushion, though. How'd she get it home?
Sprinting with a massive bear tied to her
Yeah, they didn't
back.
mention it during that scene, but she had a massive bear with her the entire time.
Yeah. I wouldn't.
Still chatting happily, we entered the classroom, but the moment I stepped into the room, a splashing sound and a nasty sensation. It was a bucket filled to the brim with water, and unfortunately my foot stepped right into it. You let your guard down.
My now. How diligent of you to mop the floor this morning.
Clump, 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 clump. Whip, whiff.
Wah! Keiichi's not flicked my forehead.
You should set a more brutal trap next time.
Seeing that, Rena began to swoon as Mion looked on dejectedly. Everything was the same as always. Everybody was there and nothing felt out of place. The uncertainties I'd had in the back of my mind since yesterday had vanished.
What is it, Keiichi-kun? Didn't get enough sleep, maybe? Maybe?
I slept like a log, but if you want, I'll do a reenactment during class.
You shouldn't do that.
Mion alerted us to that the teacher was coming, so everyone shuffled off to their seats.
I'm sad we don't get a sprite for their teacher.
Yeah, I'm mentally imagining them as the principal from Nishijo.
So it's a like 30-something lady with bright blue hair.
Oh, nice.
And
A lot of blue nets in this area.
I don't know if she gets a sprite in the games or not, but I know from the anime.
Okay. Do you want to be teacher or am I the teacher?
Oh, you take teacher.
Sure. Well, good morning, everyone. Yes, it was a festival. Thank you, all people staying until the very end to help clean up.
Yeah, that's it. Now that's the teacher.
I was trying to do like a Charlie Brown womp
Yeah.
womp, but like understandable, right? We were all slackers, so none of us actually helped clean up. Actually, I had a feeling the only thing we did was run around the festival and cause a ruckus.
Okay, then this time of year you might see some people out here from out of town doing interviews about the festival for magazines.
I thought it was the usual stuff, so I was going to tune it out, but then I noticed a different tone in her voice and started paying attention.
You may be asked questions. Please don't say anything silly or something that could be taken the wrong way. You understand?
In unison, everyone replied,
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. What she'd said was really vague, but I understood what she was trying to say. After all, this was the 5th year.
Hey kids, don't snitch.
Yeah, right? It's like that feels like what she's doing. There were probably lots of third-rate reporters pouring in, hoping something regarding the curse had happened. It did nothing but perpetuate the village's bad image. She was saying,
Don't spout stupid shit you think it's funny, okay?
and now I was one of the ones who needed to keep their mouths shut. I found it rather cute how I felt a sense of unity from such a trite thing, if I do say so myself. That's how the cults get you! I was summoned to club activities after school. Since everyone was still pretty tired from yesterday, we just spent the day relaxing. Yeah, that ain't happening.
Today, let's play a classic game of deduction. How about this one?
Ooh, a game from overseas. Looks interesting.
The instructions are in English, though, but the rules don't seem that hard.
I won't lose, you hear?
What game are they playing?
I'm not too bad at this game.
Seemed Rena didn't handle this kind of game very well.
The rules are, the person who can match the murderer, weapon, and the scene of the crime wins.
Oh, they're playing Clue.
Yeah.
Or Cluedo, I guess, in other area. Right? Called Cluedo in other parts of the world.
I don't know.
But yeah, it's Clue. The problem is that, like, I like Clue as a concept, but it's random every time, so it's not like you can use fun mystery logic.
Yeah.
It has the airs of being a fun murder mystery, but none of the actual mystery solving of a murder mystery. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's a little unfortunate.
Are there any mystery board games that are mysterious and good? It feels hard.
There are some, but they're the kind of things you can only do once. Because once you know the mystery, then you're done. Like murder over dinner board games. That's a thing that people do, right? But once you know the trick of the game, you can't do it a second time.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it? There were 3 kinds of cards comprised of suspects, weapons, and locations. I could see the names Mion and Rico were written on the suspect cards. Oh, a card with my name on it as well. Oh, there are plenty of different weapons too, like knives, axes, poison. Locations are pretty nice too. Like the living room, the study, the courtyard. I like how they personalized the game with their names.
So basically, you take out one of each of the cards. These are the answer cards. So we shuffle the remaining cards and hand them out. We ask each other about the cards and figure out the right ones.
I see, the cards no one has are the true perpetrators. But this is another one you could just solve by memorizing the card backs.
Then you raise your hand if you know the answer. The game ends and we check if the answer is correct. If you're right, then you get a point. If you're wrong, then you lose a point.
Ooh, penalty for guessing wrong. Okay.
Since the game ends, even if no one gets it right, all the cards are gathered up and redistributed.
You'll learn as you go. You really have to use your noggin.
You'll get confused if you don't take notes.
The rest of you can figure out by playing, so... Mion, what's the penalty this time? Everyone directed their attention to Mion.
Let's see. We're all still a little tired from yesterday, so maybe we'll take it easy with a gopher penalty. You'll be asked to rush out and buy stuff for everyone. So just being asked to go buy stuff like drinks and candy, I guess. I feel like the penalty today is pretty simple.
I wonder, is it really?
Is Keiichi-san thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah, I am. You don't know what you'll have to go buy. I'm betting Mion would send out whoever loses to buy stuff like hemorrhoid cream or a happy family planning manual or other crazy stuff. The cards were lightly shuffled and passed out to each player. The real perpetrator, the correct weapon, and the scene of the murder had been taken out. That means all the cards I have in my hand are innocent cards.
Then I'll go first since I'm the club president, I guess.
Well then. Oh, that's still her.
Well then, Mion, knife, study.
You pick one suspect, weapon, and murder scene and ask each person. If you have any of those cards, you must say, I have one. However, you don't need to say which one you have. Yeah, I got it.
Me too. I have one.
You said one. Interesting. I guess you could, if all of them say yes, then you can deduce that anyway, but still.
Oh my, all of them are here.
3 people answered when she asked if they had Mio, knife, and study. Means Mion and knife and study are all in the clear. Got to jot that down.
Then I'll go. Rena, axe, lounge.
Only 2 people said they had one. So it means out of Rena, axe, and lounge, one of them is correct and part of the crime? No, wait, even if they say they have one, they don't have to say how many. Possible either Sadako or Rika-chan has 2 of the cards.
Well, Kei-chan is next. Go ahead.
Wait, just a little. I'm still sorting things out. The game has me thinking more than I thought. Oh, man, this feels like it's going to be tough.
All right, now I have the criminal.
What? Already? Here I am spinning around in circles and Mion just now raises her hand.
The murderer is Rika-chan in the infirmary with the poison. Well?
Mion drew the card from the box and we checked to see if her deduction was right.
You were right.
Ugh, why I needed was one more hand. I couldn't tell whether it was poison or a pistol.
I'd never use a pistol. I like killing them slowly with poison.
Rika-chan said such a hugely terrifying thing with such a sweet little face. Everyone was making a commotion about how they almost had it. Reina and I were left out in the cold, though.
How did you do, Keiichi-kun? I couldn't get it at all.
Oh, don't worry. I had no idea either. This also requires that, you know each and every one of the things.
Yep.
Right?
How can you both be so unsure? You'll both end up in last place together at this rate.
That's even worse. Going off buying something together as a couple. What if we ended up having to buy the Happy Family Planning Guide?
I can tell from Keiichi's expression that he's not very good at this game.
Ugh, that's not true. I'll show you the true power of Sherlock Maebara during the next round.
My. That sounds just wonderful. I shall give you quite the thrashing.
After that, I managed to somewhat grasp the trick behind the game, but I was still always a step or two behind. Saw Mio and was somehow gleaning information from how the others were asking their questions. That level of experience was just too much. The only way I could stage a comeback was if I became ruthless. I tossed out the simple concept of deduction and switched over to the thought process needed to win. The important thing isn't to find out the criminal, it's to win at the game. Eureka! Oh, sorry, I need to go to the bathroom.
Take your time and squeeze out a nice one. Mii-chan, that's gross.
I had them hold off the game and headed down to the hall. The air was crisp. It showed just how stagnant the air in the classroom from our body heat. On the school grounds, some of our classmates were still playing around. Spending some time cooling my head, Rena had made her way over towards me.
Keiichi-kun, did you call for me?
Yeah, I did. As I got up from my seat, I winked over at Rena. I'm glad it worked out. I don't want to waste much time, so I'll get right to it. Rena, what's your record at this game we're playing today? She was taken aback, and after a moment, she hesitantly opened her mouth.
Well, all losses. Why do you ask, I wonder?
I could tell from how apprehensively she was playing. The way things are going, I will as well. Can't figure this one out a way to pull off a last-minute comeback on this one.
So I guess both of us will be taking that penalty.
Hey, don't accept defeat already. How about we win like this, both of us?
But how can we?
I brought my lips up to Rena's ear. Whisper, 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 whisper.
Huh? Is that allowed?
Did you forget, Rena? The second rule of our society. Do everything in your power to obtain victory.
Yeah, I'll try my best.
Our plan of attack was quite a rudimentary one. At the beginning of the game, everyone would be focused on their own hand for a while, taking notes and whatnot. Since our seats were right next to each other, we'd reveal our hands to each other. If we did it under the desk, no one would know. We begin the game with twice as much information as everyone else. Having this much information would mean we need to investigate less. With this sort of plan of attack, we start off with a big lead over the other guys.
Yeah, with this we can probably win.
We both smirked at one another. If I was the shady businessman, then Rena was the corrupt senator. Pleasure doing business with you. Let's hurry back. We'll work as a duo to surprise everyone.
Hey now, there's no point if we go back together. It would be like flat out telling them we made a little arrangement.
Oh, shit. Whatever.
Oh.
This is her.
Oh, sorry. Then what should we do?
Go back ahead of me, Rena. I'll take my time coming back after washing my face or something.
Okay, got it.
Rena turned around and headed back to the classroom. Guess I should wait a bit longer before going back. If I went too soon, it wouldn't seem like I went to the bathroom. If me or one of them suspected something, there could be problems. We'd figure it out sooner or later, because both Rena and I would start winning over and over again. Both of us will have earned enough points to avoid being the losers by the time Mion realized what was happening. Excellent! Not bad at all. Or have they dealt the hand yet? Who is this?
It's a mystery.
Hey, Maebara, could I have a moment?
Oh, it's the teacher. Okay.
Oh, it's the teacher. Man, things were just getting good. What is it? I'm a little bit, Are you ever guest? Please make your way to the entrance. Guest? It's not like I own a hotel. I've been waiting. Please hurry. It's rather unfortunate to have someone waiting on me right before my big match, but I was more interested in seeing this unexpected guest. I didn't want to waste any time, so I decided to take care of it quickly. The entryway was a heavy contrast from the hot sunlight and deep shadows. Waiting there, looking uncomfortably warm, was a middle-aged man with his tie sloppily loosened and his jacket tucked underneath his arm.
Yeah, we've met Best Girl.
What? Huh. We met best girl, huh?
Yep, that's him.
That's him? Okay. Like a cop to me, but all right.
Do you want to give him your best cop voice?
Wait, am I doing jowl voice for this one?
I don't know. You guessed right that he looks like a cop. He sure does. I can try and summon up a
Hey,
voice
now,
if you
are
prefer.
you Maebara-san? Keiichi Maebara-san. There was no question that he wasn't a resident. I can't do that. There was no question he wasn't a resident of Hinamizawa, and that this was, without a doubt, the first time he had met me. Ever since I met Tomatake-san, I've been running into so many middle-aged men. That's right, who might you be? I have the AC on in my car. Let's go talk there.
Yeah!
It's a bit hot in there now, don't you? It's a bit hot out here, don't you think? The man, completely ignoring my question, pointed over to his car parked near the gate and began walking. You've got to be kidding me. I had no intention of going along with some geezer I didn't even know. He was asking me to just get in his car with him?
But think, he's got AC.
He does have AC. I'm not going to bite. Come on now.
Oh, that's him.
Oh, I'm not gonna bite. Come on now. He opened the back door of his car and called me over. I didn't like this old man, but I wanted to know what this was about, even while knowing that conversations that start out like this have never led to anything good. The inside of his car was pretty cool. Cars with air conditioners were supposed to be a luxury. My dad didn't have one in his car, at least. Please let me know if it's too cold for you, okay? I have a habit of cranking it all the way up. Oh, so what business do you have with me, huh? Despite it, I decided to ignore his remark in the same way he did to me and start my own line of questioning. Pulled out a notepad from his pocket, took out a picture that was stuck between the pages. On it was the face of a pretty goofy-looking guy. If you know anything related to this here individual, then please tell me. Who the heck is this? Not even his close friends would be able to recognize who he was from this expressionless picture that looked like it was taken at the DMV. There were scribbles here on his shirt done in permanent marker, starting with yours, Maebara-san, and quite a few of your classmates signed as well. Oh, Tomatake. Huh? This is Tomatake-san? There was no hint of his usual unreliable and easygoing personality in this photo. It was an expressionless, half-asleep face. Then do you know this here woman? Even before seeing it, I had a good idea of who it was. Don't remember her name, but she's some lady who was with Tomatake-san last night. Didn't know what her name was, but I did know she was a resident of Hinamizawa. When was the last time you saw these here individuals? The night of the Watanagashi. We spoke for a while. They seemed pretty close, I guess. Did anything bother you about the two of them? Anything is fine. Go ahead and say it. Being asked for every little detail is very troubling, honestly. Keiichi, the teacher just told you not to snitch. Don't be a snitch. I had a pretty good idea of who this guy was by now. Oh, did something happen to them? There was no response to my inquiry. Thus I replied to that silence in kind. I was pretty sure, no, certain, that this guy here was a cop. But then why? Why was he asking about Tomatake-san? Did something happen to him? More importantly, why me? Shouldn't there have been plenty of other people who knew more about him than I did? You put your name on his shirt, buddy. The roar of the AC felt unbearably loud. After a long pause, he finally spoke again. You moved here just recently, isn't that right, Maebara-san? Are you aware, I wonder, about the stories of Oyashiro-sama? My heart began to race. I'm pretty terrible at hiding things. Probably showed on my face. And he's like, yeah, you haven't been quietly indoctrinated yet. Not at all, huh? If you don't, then there's fine. Well, I've heard of it. Tomatake-san told me, actually. How much do you know about it, youngin'? The dismemberment killing, the accidental death, the death by illness followed by suicide, and the lady who was beaten to death. The incidents that have always happened the day of the Watanagashi, ending in suspicious deaths. I didn't think Tomatake-san would have kept anything from me. I think that was everything. Rather, I didn't want to think there was anything more than that. Do you know that there will curse Maebara-san? Feel free to speak openly about it. Remember, kids, don't talk to the cops. I don't believe in it. My answer was instant. It wasn't so much that I didn't believe in it as it was that I was on the verge of believing. I wanted to clear away my own doubts. That was the more prominent feeling. Oh, really now? Then that there's great. Guess you really are one of those city-raised boys, huh? Oh, so what if I don't believe? Hey, friends waiting. Did you get to the point? The man in this here picture is dead. My mind went blank. What happened to Tomatake-san? It would seem that he died last night. That was the night of the Watanagashi. Do you understand the implications behind that, Maebara-san? The implications? Not really, not any for the cause of his death or the reasons behind it. The real problem was that he died on the day of the Watanagashi. Meaning this year, the curse of Oyashiro-sama had once again. The death of Jiro Tomatake is... The death of Jiro Tomatake is still confidential. You can understand why that is, right? You're the one that told me to do this. I'm just doing it.
I don't think I told you to do that specific part. I think that's an SK original.
Didn't want to understand why. Please tell me. Tell me what happened to him. It was rather peculiar. Might be a little too graphic for someone born and raised here in Hinamizawa. It was a roundabout way of saying it, but caused me to doubt whether or not I wanted to hear the rest. Would only regret forcing myself to learn as something I shouldn't. At least that's how I figured I would feel if I listened to the rest. One of our patrol cars discovered the body on the way back from security detail at the festival. It was late about 5 until midnight. The location was, well, you know where the road into town becomes paved, right? Down past that slope on the shoulder round them parts. There were a few streetlights on that road. Its pitch-black darkness was only broken by the lights of passing cars and the moon. The stroke of luck that Tomatake-san was spotted collapsed on the shoulder of that road. Tomatake-san was face down, covered in blood. Blood and muck covered the asphalt. We thought it was a hit and run at first, but when the officer checked to see if he was still alive, he quickly noticed something abnormal. His throat had been ripped right open. From a knife or something? Nah, nail. Nails? As in fingernails? With those he clawed through? From the coroner's report, it was revealed that it was with his own nail. What? What? What does that even mean? Basically, it means that it wasn't a murder. It was suicide. Clawed through his own throat with his own nails?
Seems like it.
Huh.
Pretty weird.
Tomatake-san thought there was a reason to tear open his own throat. As hard as he could, with his own nails. Tore through the skin until he started to bleed. And even then, Tomatake-san didn't stop. He continued clawing. With enough intensity that it could have peeled off his nails, still clawing. And then as his nails reached those vital arteries that you should never damage, he continued to claw. Blood splattered on the ground around him. And as he bled, while gasping for breath, he collapsed. His body spasmed, and he died in agony. We thought some of them drugs were to blame, but nothing of that nature was detected. But this was a suicide? I'd never heard of such a thing. This unnatural way of dying. If this wasn't a mysterious death, then what was? The way he died in these 5 years, his death most resembled that of a curse. To show both myself and Tomatake-san, who proclaimed there was no such thing as a curse, that we were wrong. There were a few more suspicious details, from his body chemistry, perspiration, epilation, and so on. We concluded that he was in a state of hysteria right before his death. That was a given. It's hard to believe someone could be in a sound state of mind while clawing out their own throat. Wounds on his hands matched a discarded piece of lumber found nearby. There are traces of where he struck trees within the guardrails with it. Tomatake-san's blood was found all over the place. And that means that, while tearing at his own throat, he was swinging around a piece of lumber? Is that what that means? I'm just gonna get through this before I start. Yeah. There were external injuries which were not self-inflicted discovered on Tomatake-san. There's a high probability that Tomatake-san was assaulted. The external injuries suggest that there may be multiple suspects. Summarize. Tomatake-san was surrounded and attacked while wandering the night roads in a state of panic. After being cornered, he picked up a piece of lumber and tried fighting back. Somewhere in there, he began madly tearing at his own throat and clawing at it even, and then he died. The presumed time of death was around 9:23 p.m., meaning it occurred right after you finished talking to Tomatake-san at the festival. Everyone signed Tomatake-san's shirt and then parted ways. Right after that, should have been with a woman. What about her? She is missing. She ain't shown up to work and hasn't returned home either. There's a very high probability that she was involved in this incident. For a while, I could only gaze off into space. Never would have thought that something unfortunate happening to someone close to me could affect me this deeply. The time I had spent with him was short, but we went to the same festival, spent time together, and took part in the same competition. He was one of us. We have been continuing the investigation on various fronts, but when it comes to Oyashiro-sama's curse, the villagers here ain't very cooperative. That I knew well. I would have been none the wiser if not for Tomatake-san, the outsider, telling me. So that's why you came to me, huh? Because I'm not originally from Hinamizawa? I should have been angry that that was the reason he wanted to hear what happened from me. If the things go the way they have been, then the conclusion would be that Jiro Tomatake died from Oyashiro-sama's curse. He turned away from me and gazed off far into the distance. The night at the Watanagashi, during that sacred ritual, he callously snapped off photos angering Oyashiro-sama. That's how it's all going to turn out. Ugh, there's no way Oyashiro-sama would inflict divine punishment on Tomatake-san. Tomatake-san had to have been killed by humans, and a cowardly group, no less. There's no way I'm going to let this end up being the fault of some curse. I think so as well. There ain't no such thing as divine punishment or curses. The tense mood was cut with the man's hearty laugh. That's how this must be, Maebara-san. Cooperation from individuals in Hinamizawa who don't believe the curse is indispensable. Oh, who don't believe in the curse is indispensable. Right, okay, so he's saying there's a conspiracy to make it seem as if the curse thing. Do you want to stand me? Neither Tomatake-san nor I believed in curses. But with the way things were going, it would just end up with Tomatake-san's death marking the 5th year, which would mean that Hinamizawa had rejected Tomatake-san. And that was something I couldn't allow. Tomatake-san was one of us. He didn't live in Hinamizawa, but he came every single year. In a sense, he was more of a resident than I was. There was no way that he could have been cursed by Oyashiro-sama. But there's nothing I could do to help. I have no idea what happened that night either. No. If you see or hear something that draws your attention, then that's enough. See or hear? Talking in the future tense. You know, things with people or rumors, anything is fine. I don't care if they ain't unfounded. Here, this is my phone number. If I'm not there, then just leave a message with whomever picks up. He handed me a piece of paper with his number on it, but I hesitated for a second. If I took it, then whether or not I wanted to, I'd be mired knee-deep in this matter. Please help me solve these questions surrounding Tomatake-san's unfortunate death. That's right. Why was I hesitating? I needed to find the murderer who killed my friend. I snatched up the piece of paper as a satisfied grin spread across his face. Got him. Everything we done spoke of today here is a secret. Please keep this confidential. Understood, sir. From your friends as well, especially from Sonozaki-san and Furude-san. Please do not inform them. Oh, Sonozaki? You mean Mion? Why? Are you saying they have something to do with the incident? Sonozaki's family was on the planning committee, and same with Furude.
Yeah.
My friend's name was brought up so abruptly, and being told to keep it a secret from them, I became rather angry. This is what they call investigative... This here is what they call investigative privilege, I suppose. Don't play games with me. Mion's a close friend of mine. I snapped at him, but he didn't seem to especially be offended. I wouldn't mind telling you, but it may just upset you. Well, then say it! He hesitated a little. Turning his gaze to the outside of the car, he began to speak after thinking for a bit. There is a possibility that the string of incidents happening here in Hinamizawa are a result of a village conspiracy. There's no way that could be right. Give me a break. First of all, is there any proof? There ain't no evidence. Also, each of the cases were resolved, and none of the perpetrators had any direct connection to the village. Then how did you come to that conclusion? Every year, the enemies of the village die on the day of the Watanagashi. Don't you think that's enough reason to suspect something? Only the residents of Hinamizawa felt that the day of the Watanagashi was sacred. So basically, because incidents happened on that day, it was somehow related to Hinamizawa? First, it was that damn construction foreman. Then it was a villager who supported it. Those the village hold a grudge against die one after the other from mysterious causes. The means are different, but in the end, the result is the same. Unfounded, unreasonable suspicion. But it couldn't just be shrugged off. So the victims after that, what about the Shinto priest and his wife's death? They weren't enemies of the village. Villagers had expected leadership from the Shinto priest at the time of the damn dispute, but he wasn't proactive, so there was a faction of villagers who harbored ill will towards him as a result. Ill will? It's not like he did anything bad to the village. What about the housewife after that? She died just because she was the wife of the brother of a supporter? That's such a trivial reason to kill someone. What about Tomitaki-san? He's not affiliated with the damn project at all. Just killed because he was an outsider? In the beginning, it fell on those related to the damn project, but as the years went on, the enemy threshold of victims had become much lower. Well, there's the scary part, young'un. The bar keeps getting lower. What's scary about that? It means it's not just enemies of the village anymore. Just being an outsider is reason enough. The next year's village victim, they're just gonna be picked out of the village outsider pool? It might be a person that just moved here, for example. What do you mean by... Swallowed my words. Here in Hinamizawa, the ones who would be considered the most outside would be my family. I was proof enough of that, wasn't I? I still couldn't really remember the names of people I passed by. And then the next victim's my family. Is he saying it was going to be me? What does that have to do with Mion? I can't go into details, but the Sonozaki family led the damn protests. Quite fervently so. Also true of Mion Sonozaki-san herself. She has quite a few misdemeanor and obstruction of public worker offenses on her record because of the protests. She would have been like, what? How old is she?
I do not know folks' exact ages.
Okay.
If
she's like 19 now, that would have made her like 15 during those protests, right?
She's probably not 19 if she's still in high school.
So 18?
So like 17, 18.
She's older than Keiichi, but still in school. I'm guessing if we say 18, then she would have been 14.
Yeah.
Huh? Never too young to get involved in labor rights movement.
Yeah.
I knew Mion knew what it meant to fight. This was the first I'd heard of her family leading the protests, though. What did it all mean? What could all of this mean?
Indeed.
Are you saying that Mion's family is involved with this string of incidents? I wouldn't go that far. I'm just saying that if it was a conspiracy, then they'd have the highest probability of being behind it. Not a very clear explanation. Felt like he'd magnificently avoided the details I really wanted to know. We don't know who or how involved anyone is right now. That is exactly why I don't want you to say nothing to none of the villagers now. Instead of answering, I gave a very bitter expression. Seemed that he understood it well enough. Then think of it like this. I don't want to worry the villagers who blindly believe it's a curse. How about that? What do you mean, how about that? How should I know? But the reasoning behind wanting me to not carelessly open my mouth about it wasn't too hard to comprehend. The perpetrator was here. It had nothing to do with a curse. He was definitely going to be caught by the police and made to pay for his crimes, and none of the villagers should have anything to do with that process. Was he going to be caught? It's been like 4 years. It may cause those sensitive about the curse to just worry needlessly. Just like everyone kept it from me so I wouldn't worry about it. Now my turn to keep it from them so they don't have to worry? I was just talking to myself. Unlike me, everyone else had been worrying over these mysterious incidents yearly, and the incident this time probably means a lot more to them. I didn't want to burden them anymore. In the end, everything went as the man had wanted, as insipid as it was, but couldn't be helped. I understand. I'll keep it to myself. Is that fine, Mr. Oh, my name? Mr. Ooshi, from the Okinomiya Police Station. You can call me Kura-chan if you want. No. Ooshi-san is fine. Ooishi?
Oishi.
Ooishi? Is it? Okay. No, Ooishi-san is fine. The way he said it was unpleasant, yet retained hints of politeness. He was the spitting image of a vulgar police officer. I've never seen one this bulky before in the cop shows I watch. I've taken up too much time. Your friends are waiting, aren't they? I'll probably let you get back to them. The door opened with a click and streamed in the oppressive heat. It's blistering outside of the car. Was it really this hot of a day? I was going to say, it was almost cruel heat as opposed to the mechanical coolness inside the car. It was as if the land of Hinamizawa itself suddenly hated me. I felt a little sad as the thought crossed my mind. I didn't mean to suspect your friends. Please don't misunderstand me. I refrained from telling him that it was too late to say something that self-serving. It's fine if you don't see or hear nothing, Maebara-san. There's enough proof the village ain't involved. I'll contact you if I hear or see anything, but I'm no detective. Please don't expect too much from me. I won't. You don't have to become a detective. Just go on living as you have up till now. Just let me know if you notice nothing. I hastily made my way back to the school building after giving him a quick bow. See you later. Farewell, Maebara-kun. I returned to the school building without looking back.
He has air conditioning.
He does have air conditioning. I was going to say, it seems like they'd been spying on him for a while if they knew his friends, but they wrote their names on the t-shirt together. So that they haven't been but...
And the friends are also from politically connected families in the town, or folks involved in
at least two of them
previous stuff, so...
Now here's the problem.
Yeah?
The teacher told Keiichi to go out there and meet with him.
Yep.
The teacher who wanted to make sure everyone in the beginning knew not to say shit.
Yep.
Don't snitch. That teacher now knows that he spent his entire time out there, got in the car with the AC, and spent a long time talking to the cop.
Seems like it.
So it seems like Keiichi's already from square one. It's fucked up on the don't let people know you're a snitch part of this operation. I don't know how much time had passed. I did feel bad for keeping them waiting, but right now there was a lot on my mind. Matake-san's death was hard enough as it was, but I think that there was a possibility of a village conspiracy. Or still, that there was also a chance Mion was involved. That's nonsense. It's impossible. Not Mion, not Reina, not Sadako, and not Rika-chan. It's a group that attacked Tomatake-san? Who could the perpetrators be? Maybe they were hiding here somewhere in Hinamizawa? I didn't know. All I could say for certain was that I knew that Mion couldn't be the perpetrator.
It's Mi-chan, the perpetrator.
That's funny. Huh? I'm startled to hear Rena's voice.
With the rope in the, lounge. Nope. No.
Rena clutched her head while flailing about. Looks like you're just self-destructing over there. Wow.
Keiichi-san, you're quite late. As you may well know, I am seething with anger.
Sorry about that. It's called into the staff room.
You were reprimanded for bad behavior. That's a shame. Well, it's been pretty heated over here. Since it's getting pretty late, let's make the next game the last one.
If I remember right, I still had 0 points, right? Isn't it pretty much decided that I'm going to be finishing in last place?
Don't worry, Keiichi-kun. I'm at -1 points.
The heck? Her score's lower than mine and I wasn't even playing.
This is the final match to decide if the penalty is going to be carried out by Rena alone or by both Kei-chan and Rena.
Yeah, right. Just let Rena do the penalty by herself.
We made a promise, Keiichi-kun, that we would both win. I waited all this time, you know. You know?
Ugh, I'm sorry about that. I followed my initial plan of showing Rena my cards, but I didn't say who was the criminal and just waited for her to call.
I got it. The murderer is me, with the poison at the entrance. Is it? Is it? My, Rena. Quite a quick answer. Another stab in the dark. Oh. Rena's correct.
Oh, then it's decided that Keiichi-san shall take part in the penalty as well.
Hooray! Keiichi-kun, let's both do our best.
Yeah, let's both do our best. It's my fault, so I have no choice.
Then that's game. It's me, Mion Sonozaki, ranked first. In dead last are Keiichi Maebara and Reina Ryugu.
Everyone applauded and the game ended. Problem now was the penalty.
Now then, I ranked first, so I'll decide what you'll be buying for the gopher penalty. What will she make us buy, I wonder?
Let's blacklist the drugstore. That was your aim, wasn't it?
Huh? I don't have any business at the drugstore. This old man's already got a list prepared for you on this piece of paper.
We're doing Mion's grocery shopping.
Whoa, there's a lot written here.
A lot? Damn it, what is she making us buy? 2 blocks of tofu, shampoo and conditioner, apple vinegar, fried tofu. Heck is all this?
Looks more like a shopping list than a penalty.
Me was certain she was going to win today. Rule 7 of our society. You cannot refuse any penalty. Here's some money. The shampoo I usually get is Fruit Fable. Thanks.
This is just your grocery list. Why is she buying the groceries?
Literally sets up a whole fucking scam just to get someone else to go do her chores.
I promised myself that if I won next time, I'd make her go buy hemorrhoid cream.
Oh.
Wow.
So, we've had our first mysterious awful event.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Oh, we got
there's
one
tips.
more than for perpetrators and search notice.
Okay, let's check out the tips.
Let's check these out, and then we
first.
got a little bit of time before the end of the sode after that. Let's read these.
Yeah.
Hypovolemic shock induced by clawing out their own throat. Tissue is packed under the nails, not someone else's nails. It's undoubtedly the individual's own nails. Shape of the scars also matches. Yeah, I know the immediate cause of death was suicide.
I get it. You're saying the cause of death is unnatural, right?
Kind of like when your back itches and you scratch a little too hard and draw blood. You know what I mean. Some of Tomatake's fingernails have been pulled out. It's actually quite simple to pull out one's own nails. It really, really hurts. Under normal circumstances, the pain would prevent you from completely pulling them out. Also, a lot of bruises on Tomatake's body. Clear from the shape of them that he was assaulted first by someone or a group of people. According to the toxicology report, the deceased was in an extreme state of hysteria right before his death. Oh, shit. That wasn't... And then he fought back and clawed out his own throat because of how hysterical he had become. The guys attacking him certainly would have been surprised by that. It's possible that in such an abnormal environment, a person could perform acts that a sane individual couldn't possibly imagine. Of course, those are very rare cases.
Actually, Goishi-kun, that wood plank the deceased used as a weapon. They only found sand and the paint from the guardrail on it.
What about cloth fibers or skin?
Nothing. The deceased didn't strike the assailants, or it could be that they took the plank he was fighting back with.
In that case, they wouldn't have gone out of their way to replace it with another. They'd take them all, right?
That's true.
Tomatake is pretty built and tan. He was quite athletic.
Huh?
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
That's right. He was pretty active.
I can't imagine what kind of sports he did when he was alive, but I think his physical strength would be on the higher side, meaning he would be difficult to overpower in a brawl. The man with such physique sensed he was in danger and swung the plank around wildly. Unthinkable it wouldn't even nick the perpetrator. And his opponent was unarmed. The guy had a wooden plank, so you'd think he'd hit him at least once.
this around and take down someone of his physique. I wonder how many people it would take.
You dimwit, you should know better than anyone. Have you forgotten your bad cop days? If I was to take down this guy, how many would I need? When a group wants to take down big prey, it's fundamental to attack with numbers. I'd guess about 4. Even if there was a gap in their strength, they'd manage.
And there were quite a few perpetrators, so any drunken disorderly groups of more than 4 are suspicious.
A group of 4 or more. Just, if they had that many, then they couldn't have hidden the body in a less obvious location. They'd somehow break away from that fatal predicament. There'd be no reason to commit suicide. Moreover, I still can't comprehend the irregular way he died. It's full of mystery. That's under serious consideration on my end, too. I'll be examining as thoroughly as possible, but I wouldn't get your hopes up. After all, we ain't never counted a death like this before.
I'm not hoping for much, but I'm looking forward to the results. Oh. Alishi-san, Jesus calling you.
Thanks. See you around.
Yep. Best wishes.
Okay, I've got a preliminary idea.
Yeah, what's your preliminary idea?
He was hung.
Interesting.
That would cause him to kind of claw at his own throat as he was trying to get the noose away. It could be that the noose started to dig into him, but at some point the beam broke, and he was able, and that would explain why it looked like a broken beam but doesn't have any blood or stuff on it.
Mm-hmm.
Could be that they tried to hang him, got pretty far, but the beam that he was hanging on broke, and he tried to run as far as he could before he eventually died.
So then they find him, get rid of the rope, or he gets rid of it somewhere.
Right. Well, presumably if he was able to get... If the beam broke, he would be able to get himself out of the rest of it because there's no more tension.
And he overpowered a group of 4 or more.
No, they probably just
perpetrators?
left him there and thought it was done.
I see.
Yeah.
See.
But at a minimum, the part where he's clawing at the throat, that almost assuredly means he was hung or like garroted or something.
Hmm.
Because it doesn't... Clawing your own throat to death, no, absolutely not. Clawing your neck to try to get out something that is choking you to death, absolutely. Search notes. What do we got here?
And it would conveniently hide the evidence of strangulation, potentially, right? Like, you'd expect to see particular bruises in that case, but if the throat is just shredded, there's no bruises to see.
Exactly.
Interesting theory.
Jiro Tomitake, deceased. Resided in a cheap hotel in Shishibone City. Registered under the name Jiro Tomitake. A pen name. Interesting. So that's not his real name, that's his pen name.
Yep.
Travels via folding bike. No license. Bicycle was found 300 meters away, abandoned at the site of a porous path. Present on the day of the festival, accompanied by the missing Mio Takano. Is that her name?
Yep.
Takano Mio, who is
Takano
missing.
Mio.
Or is still missing.
Yep.
Is that what... So they're not saying, like, Mio Takano, who was missing, but was found accompanying this guy.
No,
They're saying Mio Takano was accompanying him, and now she is missing. Okay. So that's her name, Mio.
Yep.
Mio Takano. Was seen around 9 p.m. by police, location afterwards unknown. Held residence in Hinamizawa for 1 week each season for the last 5 to 6 years. Freelance photographer specializing in wild birds. Check with magazine companies. Nothing suspicious in the film located among the articles of the deceased. Wallet was among the articles. Mere act of violence? Right, because they didn't take the wallet. From the contents of the wallet, he spent most of his time around Tokyo and Chiba, along the Sobu National Railway line. No individual matching the name of Jiro Tomitake in the residency records of any Tokyo wards. Compare teeth to dental records. Send to Metro Police. Attach a photo. Send to Metro Police. Contacting magazines regarding Jiro Tomitake.
That's interesting. Huh?
Which
Isn't it?
part?
A lot of things there.
That this was a pen. This
Not only is it a pen name, they can't find record of the guy.
Of him, right? I mean, this didn't surprise me because if that's a pen name, that's not the name he would have on his residency record.
Yeah, the dude doesn't like have a license. They aren't able to track him down to any.
Oh, I see. What I
despite the fact they know enough about him to know he's here
Mhm.
for at least a week every year.
I see.
Who the fuck
so,
is he?
So he's remarkably. Okay, I see. You're right. I didn't had quite internalize all this. 'Cause I'm like, okay, yeah, of course it's not going to have that name as a residency record if it's a pen name.
Like, they've got his wallet. His wallet was there. wasn't taken, and has no information on who the fuck this man is. The film is also interesting.
Travels by bike, has no license, right?
Yep.
So keeps himself off the grid.
The film is also interesting because think about what cameras would have been like at this time. You don't have a digital camera where you could scroll through and see what someone's taking photos of and delete the evidence. If you wanted someone to stop taking pictures, then
you smash the camera.
Yeah.
So they clearly didn't care what he was taking pictures of. If whoever assaulted him really thought he was getting evidence of something, they would have smashed the camera in the film. They would have taken out the film at least before it could be developed.
So what the fuck do they want?
Nothing suspicious in the film located among the articles. So that means they developed the film and looked at it.
Seems like it, yeah.
Okay, and there's nothing suspicious. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. This is a lot to go with. Like, I'm still kind of like piecing it all together. Mio Takano, missing. Nurse at the Irie Clinic.
I believe Irie.
Irie Clinic. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Oh, a doctor, huh? Became close to Tomitake through her passion for wild bird photography. Resides in Okonomiya Okonomiya District Redacted. Single. Witnessed accompanying Tomitake on the festival grounds, currently missing. Abducted, maybe a suspect. An important person of interest, either way. Had no motive to kill the deceased. Squabble from jealousy? Need to thoroughly investigate their relationship, place of work, etc. Need to get information from the police on scene again. I want some cream puffs. 4 jumbo ones. Oishi.
So that's a lot of stuff that just happened.
It's a lot of stuff to go on here, yeah.
All at once, suddenly things start piling on.
Well, I mean, for all of that, I don't really think much of my thoughts have changed on the matter. Because I've already talked about like what it would have to be for like if it does actually feel like there's a big group conspiracy in the village. I think it's less of a wide conspiracy and more that like there are people who have an invested interest in making it look that way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because the small town all keeping their lips shut is a convenient narrative, but a small town full of hundreds of people don't all have the same interests writ large enough for this to work this way.
There's at least one time in recent history that they did.
Yeah, with the labor dispute. Absolutely. But that doesn't seem... But unless Tomitake-san was really there investigating the labor dispute, or is the missing sixth man who never was found, then I don't get... I'm going to have to think about this a bit more. And it's the end of the sode in our end of a recording session for the day, so I'll definitely have time to mull this over.
Indeed.
Yeah. Here's the thing I think I can say for certain.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the kids aren't killing people.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the kids ain't killing people. If they are involved,
tough for them to overpower a grown man like Tomitake.
If they're involved, I think they're involved insofar as they are being coerced or manipulated by adults or trusted people in their lives. Maybe Mion is old enough to be where she could, like, Mion or maybe Rena could be old enough where they could be making those decisions and doing that themselves. But I don't see Rika or Sadako being involved out of anything other than coercion.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see Mion and Rena doing that with what we know about their personality.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to think on this for a while. I'm sorry I don't have anything more to like we just had deaths and stuff, and I'm sitting here like, yeah, all right.
You've had a lot of thoughts.
There's a lot to internalize.
Yeah.
I hope you'll all forgive me for that. Anyway, I hope you're all enjoying the series so far.
I sure am.
I know. I'm glad you are. I'm glad that we have this dynamic for this one. This is very different from our...
It is. We've never had this dynamic before.
Where you know everything and I don't.
Where I get to relish all the things you say that are going to be really funny when we get to Chapter 8.
All right. See you next time, everyone. Bye.
Peace, y'all.
Smash that like, comment and subscribe. Hey y'all, it's spoiler time. This time it's Ciconia spoilers. So, if you don't wish to be spoiled, now's your time to click off the video. Thanks.
Toмотake-san was with a girl. Felt a little like I was intruding.
How was it, Keiichi?
Oh no! Hold on. Hold on.
Hold on, what?
Okay. So I recognize this face.
You do,
This
and I
person.
know from where.
And you know from where.
Should we put up a spoiler tag and talk about this?
The thing is, I don't think where I know it from is going to help me out at all with this. I just feel like I should point that out because I haven't played through the entirety of.
So we should put up a spoiler
We'll
tag
put up
and
a
just talk
spoiler
about
tag
this.
here. Okay, let's put up a spoiler tag here.
So you've seen her in Ciconia.
I've seen. I haven't played through all of Ciconia myself, but I've seen. I saw bits of pieces of it while some friends were streaming it, and I have seen this person.
So you think, at least.
So I think, at least, I've seen this person with this exact same design and outfit and everything. Let's see what her outfit looks like in the. Oh, whoops. So I've got no idea what the hell is going. Because I don't know anything else about Ciconia. Like I don't know what the framing device is or how far in the future it's meant to take place. But
Well, Ciconia definitely doesn't happen in 1983.
right. So I don't know. I just feel like I needed to point that out because if I didn't, then you would just hear me stammering for no reason at all. Also, what the hell? That design makes her look so much different. Okay.